Back, I now recognize Ms. Simon from great state of California for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Associate Administrator, like I said before on my way out right before the recess, you're a breath of fresh air this year, and I just really want to thank you. Your testimony has been wonderful today, and thank you for your commitment to or your bipartisan commitment to all business owners in this country, your experience in disaster management. I was really excited as a 30-year manager of a small shop that you have a commitment of bringing your staff out to the field to feel it, to be with people in their darkest of days. That just says so much about how you're running your own shop. I had a lot to say. So many of the answers that you've given have satisfied those questions. But like I said, I come from the Bay Area, from California's 12th district. We're earthquake country. We're also, unfortunately, fire country. As some of the members of the panel have alluded to today, or have been very clear about, the fires in California, not just this last year, but in the last decade, have severely, severely affected our small businesses and our homeowners. You know, towns have burned to the ground. Tourism seasons have been all but wiped out throughout the state when we have, witnessed these devastating wildfires. Our first responders have done a fantastic job, including folks from your office. Supply chains have been wiped out. Even businesses located miles away from these fires, they feel the brunt of these natural disasters with winds changing the whole landscape. I will remember a couple of years ago, the Camp Fire was very far away from Oakland, and yet our skies were orange. For about 48 hours. It looked like something out of a dystopian horror movie. These levels of bad air, they don't just go away in a couple of days. You know that. I have just a quick question, and you answered some of it. I can go through all of my comments, but again, I think this hearing has been really, really helpful to all of us. How have California homeowners impacted by wildfires? I know that your span of jurisdiction is in some pretty far and pretty wide. How have they been able to use the mitigation funds to protect their homes?
So I've not seen a lot of the mitigation funding out of this most recent disaster because most of the time it's once the home is restored or the business is restored or things like that. But we've had some folks, I've heard some unique conversations where installing sprinkler systems and things of that nature that they can. I think I've heard some very unique stories of just utilizing the funds to get back growth that's near homes, near businesses, clearing naturalized areas, not to prevent growth of wildlife and things of that nature, but just to remove dead trees and dead vegetation and things like that. Cleaning out drainage ditches so that water flows and it doesn't back up. So there's a lot of different things that have been utilized for those mitigation dollars.
Well, our staff were very interested in working with your office to learn more there and about all the initiatives that you've laid out today. Last question quickly. In March, the SBA announced plans for an agency-wide reorganization, including moving all disaster loan processing from the Office of Capital Access to the Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. As of the most recent program report, staff remain at OCA for processing disaster relief. Can you provide a timeline on that process?
So we're working very closely with our Human Capital Officer, our CHICO, our Chief Human Capital Officer, to ensure that we have our ducks in a row before we pull the trigger on that. I think we're all ready to see that reorg take place. I would say that if we hadn't have had a shutdown of 45 days, we'd probably be 45 days closer to resolution on that. And so I would say that it's probably coming very soon.
Thank you. And actually, Chair, I look forward to a field trip maybe. I think us caring so much about our small businesses would love to meet your staff in the field at some point during this administration. Again, with your bipartisan leadership, regardless how you vote, it's really amazing seeing your leadership, commitment, and style and value. So thank you so much. I look forward to working with you all.
We would welcome the visit, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I yield back.